month on AnimeCons TV, Patrick and Elizabeth talk about ConnectiCon, we share a hotel room with that guy, and we interview our biggest fan.
We returned to ConnectiCon again this year, and we took another look at the convention. Last year we did a report, and we had mentioned a few issues we saw at the convention, and it seems some of them weren't quite addressed. So hopefully, by bringing this up again in our written report on AnimeCons.com and here, they'll get some attention, and ConnectiCon will be able to fix these.
Yeah, one thing that not only us but a lot of people have said online is problems with staffers being rude, not just the convention center staff, but ConnectiCon staff as well. Yeah, and normally I hear that about lots of conventions, but for this one in particular, I witnessed it myself. We did. Yeah, we were at a Doctor Who photo shoot, and it wasn't just everybody please stand against the wall, or just please stand against the wall. It was angry yelling. Red face guy. And we were a big group, and we, were a little cumbersome to deal with, which could raise some blood pressures, but you have to keep yourself in check. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I remember the tone of voice, and just don't want to alarm you, but it was, "Get out of the way!" And there's no excuse for anything like that. Yeah, I mean, that's... I think, paraphrasing, that's kind of what he said. Yeah, I mean, it's... That sort of rage does not belong by anybody on staff. No. Now, this is just one guy, but he was there. And we wanted to get his badge name, but he wasn't wearing one. We didn't see a badge on him, that's not okay. He was in one of the ConnectiCon staff black polo shirts, so we know it was ConnectiCon staff. And I have reported this to the ConnectiCon staff, and they are taking care of this. But some other people were saying that, as a whole, some staffers were pretty rude about everything from checking weapons to checking badges. Well, they were actually checking badges this year. I didn't go last year, but I remember just being able to waltz around without my badge being checked. My badge checked quite a bit, so that is good. But, that's good. Sometimes, I don't need to check it 10 times to go to the dealer's room. It's, maybe a little too much. Well, speaking of the dealer's room, they had moved the location this year. Last year it was taking up side of their large event hall. This year it was in the back of the other side, and a lot of people think it seemed a lot smaller, and but you have to remember last year it also included the artists, the media guests, and a lot of their bigger webcomic guests. And they had a separate section this year. But the dealer's room for a convention with 10,000 people was pretty small. Yeah, it was 2 rows in the back of the room, and I'll put up a map here where you can see. And you'll also see that the entrance is on one side and the exits on the other, which might not seem like an issue, but you've got a loop. So people do one loop of the room, they're back at the entrance. They have to go to the other side to get out. Also, there's a concession stand at the back of the dealer's room. And I encountered a problem when I wanted to get some lunch, and I was dressed as Joel from Mystery Science Theater holding Crow, and people are stopping me for pictures like crazy, but I had to eat. So I got my food and went to leave the dealer's room area to go to the tables on the other side of the wall, and they wouldn't let me out. I had to go out the exit, which I'm not faulting the staffer for following orders, but I had to walk all the way through the dealer's room and then back through the media guest area and way out of the way. Just stop for pictures the whole way. Logically didn't make any sense. Because that's not the only food station they had. They had one on the other side of the wall where the tables were, so they really should have either made a little pass to get to that food or just not have it open at all. Yeah. And I would have gone to that side if I had realized what a hassle it would have been, but the line there was longer, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just go here. And that's because you can't get out. But for the programming, ConnectiCon has a nice mix of everything. It's a con where it's multi-genre. So they had
They had anime and they had science fiction, and we went to an awesome community panel because we're big fans of Community.
Cool.
So that was good to see. Like, as soon as I saw a community panel, I'm like, I am going to this panel. And
they had a Legend of Korra panel that was packed, and they couldn't get enough people in.
Yeah. But when you get there, you get your program guide, and then
this is the pocket program.
This is the pocket program. I'm 5'5". This thing is like a yard.
It's movie poster size.
Yeah. This is all the I don't know how well you can see. This is all the programming.
You can see they have a lot of programming, but
they do.
One of the things I want to point out here is that it's not all the same font. Some fonts are really huge. And these are small, but turn it around. And over here for the screenings. Huge fonts. If they could reduce that, they could fit a map on there, so you'd know where the rooms are, and you wouldn't have to carry the program guide too.
Well, one other thing is, this needs maps. This needs maps, and not everyone goes for gaming. I know a lot of people do. It's a very big draw for gaming, but it would be cool if there was a separate program guide just for the gaming, so that you could just figure out the gaming, because this has everything on it, and there's I can't even fold it back up.
Well, and there are people walking around holding this up.
And it needs a map, and it doesn't have hours on it, but the hours are on the back of the badge, like for the deals room and the artist alley. I thought that was an awesome idea, and I'd like to see more conventions do that, because it's like, what time does the deals room close? Oh, look at my handy badge, 8 o'clock.
If we look in the 2011, last year, they had this addendum, which seems a lot more manageable. It's 2 11 by 17 pages, double-sided, stapled together. And so, I think if they did 2 or 3 pages like this, it would be a lot more manageable and probably less expensive than this nice glossy color guide. So they might be able to save some money and more convenient.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, if they just use guidebook, then I wouldn't need either of these. Or any online app.
But divide up the, make a program guide, a pocket program guide for the general programming, then one for gaming. So then that way people who aren't interested in gaming don't have to carry that around.
Didn't even fit in my pocket.
Yeah.
Fold it up.
One thing I do like that we talked about the dealer's room and how the guests were separate. They have a lot of different guests that you don't see at your typical anime convention. They have a lot of webcomics and websites, like College Humor was there, and really cool things you see online that you won't see at AnimeCon or something like that.
Doug Walker, and his panels were so popular. Yeah, they had to have it again.
So if you like the internet, you'll like the guests at ConnectiCon.
Yeah, and so we should also mention the feedback that the con has been getting. And this is after the con, which we normally don't get into, but I feel I need to mention this. And ConnectiCon needs to be able to handle feedback better. There was a lot of complaints from attendees about deleted comments on Facebook, and that doesn't help anyone.
No.
Because you can't ignore their problem. You have to make them feel like their problem is being addressed. And deleting the comment just makes people angry.
Yeah. And they want to make sure that their concerns are heard so that they'll come back next year and have a good time. Because if they even do come back, I mean, some people I've heard say, I'm not going to go back to the convention. I know I am if I can, but are going to say, all right, that's it, I'm done. You have to fix problems, and sometimes you don't see them as a staffer.
Yeah. Now, ultimately, I think this is just ConnectiCon. It's growing in attendance size faster than internally. And a lot of staffers have mentioned that they need more staff. And if you're in Connecticut, maybe you can join their staff. If you're staffing another convention in the area, they're looking for people. They just need more people. And I think that would help a lot.
Definitely.
But I'll be coming back next year, and hopefully
if I'm not broke, I'll be going next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time for another Don't Be That Guy segment. This time we're talking about hotel rooms. Now, sometimes hotels can be really expensive when you go to conventions, so you want to get 4 people in your room to split the costs, so you have more money to spend elsewhere. Now, sometimes you might have trouble filling that 4th spot, so your friends, cousins, coworkers, sisters, babysitter, something, I don't know, says, oh, I need a room, and you ask them to join. Well, they might be awesome and you might be best friends for the rest of your life, but sometimes they might be that guy.
Where can I put my stuff?
I think there's a spot over there.
Now, some rooms can be really big, but some rooms are really small, and some are in between. But you want to make sure that you don't take the entire room with all your stuff, especially if you're a cosplayer. But keep your stuff in a small area, that way people have room to put their stuff in there too, and there's room for people to move around and all that stuff.
You're taking the floor, right?
Yeah.
Usually a room will have 2 double or 2 queen beds, and you'll have to share a bed with somebody unless you book one all to yourself, which can be really expensive. So be prepared to share a bed with someone you might know really well or someone you might not know at all. And if you're the one who has the problem sharing a bed with somebody, that's your problem, not the other person's. You can't make them sleep on the floor while you take up the whole bed to yourself.
Do we have any more towels? Go downstairs and ask for some more. What?
Everyone needs to take a shower. Take a shower every day, and you need towels to do that. So make sure there are enough towels in the room. You can call housekeeping and they can bring up more. What's a really great idea is to bring your own towel, preferably one that's colored, so that you can tell it apart from everybody else's. But don't take all the towels in the bathroom and then leave everybody, you know, without anything to dry off. That's just rude.
This must register on an emotional level.
It's 3 a.m. Could you turn it down a bit?
First, distract target.
But it's Robert Downey Jr.
Then block his blind jab. Counter with cross to left.
It's important to get enough sleep when you're attending conventions, and it's not nice to leave your roommates struggling to sleep while you watch TV, or you talk on your cell phone, or you play a game on your iPhone or DS or whatever. When it's late at night and people are trying to sleep, turn off the TV, keep stuff to yourself with a pair of headphones. Just don't bother people while they're trying to get rest so they can enjoy the entire convention.
All right, good going, guys. We'll see you next year. Wait. You still have to pay for your part of the room. Look, I had to get all this awesome merchandise. I'll pay you when I get back to Wichita. Seriously, PayPal. We'll talk. But you don't have my email. I'll get it from you all later.
When you're sharing a room, you have to pay your fair share. The person organizing the room should tell you before the con even starts how much it is, so you can agree to pay X amount of dollars. And if you're organizing a room, tell the people that you will be asking for the money up front. Say, give me the money for the room and you can get a key. Otherwise, you might get stuck with somebody who ended up spending all their money in the dealer's room and will pay you back later when they get their next paycheck.
Voicemails! Roll it, Johnny.
I am a voicemail! Please leave a message after the beep! Oh, and are you glad I am not moving from voice guy? You wish I was.
I kinda do. We don't need Replicant Movie Phone Guy. We have Movie Phone Guy. Actually, I interviewed Movie Phone Guy. Met him up at PortCon, Maine. Great interview. Got to get home. You know what? You go watch the video yourself and judge.
All right, well, here's a little surprise. We have now a face to the voice. And what voice is that?
Hi, I'm Movie Phone. Sketch found me. I tried to hide. I didn't succeed.
Pretty much. So, name behind the face. So basically, if you call enough times, we will find you and interview you.
Yes, please call. They're holding my family.
Yeah, we are. So,
Yep.
your real name is Rev. Or
Ruben, actually.
Ruben, but we all call him Rev.
Yeah.
And so, how long have you been in the convention scene in a matter of speaking?
I've been here for about 7 years.
7 years.
Yep.
We're currently at PortCon, Maine right now. Anything else you go to do?
I do PortCon, Maine. I do AB. I go to AAC. This is all I staff.
I do staffing.
Yep.
Well, we've never really got too many staffers in our interviewing. So, in a perspective sense, how you do our other interviews as a staffer, what draws you really to a convention or being part of a convention?
Conventions are interesting. I wasn't an anime fan. I came to one and wasn't sure what to do. Now I run tech at PortCon. You should all come. And it's the family atmosphere. It's the teamwork. It's meeting people I'm big fans of. You guys, Brian Brushwood, Patrick D. It's a great place to go and be a geek for a week.
So basically, you have a camaraderie with your other fellow staff members, and it also gives you abilities that a regular con goer can't have. Is like meeting people a little bit more casually. Yeah. So
staffing is an entirely different experience.
Yeah. All right. So you say you weren't really into anime, and PortCon was an anime, kind of more of a multi-genre one.
Yeah.
What was your main geekdom?
I'm a sci-fi fan. If it's in space and explodes, I have a copy.
Good man. Good man. So then we'll continue on with, you are our primary caller into our voicemail.
Yeah.
So we kind of go into history. What was the the reasoning why you first called us?
Well, it's like this. AnimeCons, first to commercial, is great. It's a research tool. I use it a lot. I remember when you guys did the first voicemail thing and nobody called. Yeah. And then you did it again, and I thought, I'll help. And then you did something that may have been a bad idea. Uh-oh. You encouraged me.
Yeah. I think I did.
Then my friend bought your Gundam, and the rest is a little bit blurry.
Yeah, because we have so much consistency from you that we always will have a voicemail to fall back to, which is pretty great. And little spoiler, we actually are making a full segment from one of his voicemails talking about Plague. And so it helps with voicemails to also give us ideas of what you want. And but we also have something funny, is that you're also a big fan of our sister podcast, Chibi Project.
I love the Chibi Project.
And very interestingly, a few moments ago, he went up to Patrick Delahanty and was like, "Here, donations."
Yes.
Which is from the PortCon garage sale. They sell your items, they take a cut. It's great. So he's pulling out of the bags, and he bought my old Gundams, and now we're destroying them. Everyone wins.
Kids, recycle.
Recycle. So pretty much, thank you for being a fan of the podcast. Thank you for, keeping up with us and being one of our top viewers. And all I have to say is that I'm going to have to kill you now.
Yeah, I understand. Oh, God.
Well, you can leave us a voicemail with your con reports. We need con reports. We need substance. Well, you can send those calls to 762 adequate. Also, drop us a line on our Facebook accounts or Google Plus, our Twitters. Even go to our websites, AnimeCons.com or FanCons.com. You know the spiel. We do it every month. We will be at DragonCon on Labor Day weekend, so if you can actually find us in that crowd, buy us a drink. No, seriously, buy us a drink. Next month, We'll have our reports from Anime Iowa and Otakon. See you there.
Don't see the little red light.
What did you name that? Was it Rudolph? Did you guys decide?
I say Rudolph.
Rudolph?
Rudolph.
It's Rudolph the Red Light. We've missed you so much.
It's still recording.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
okay.